Former Beach, Dollo district, our friend Mike, the team, our representative, the district team, district security, police commander. Why are we here? I was explaining to our friend here, and many of you have talked about this. This used to be center of education in the country. We were under Acoli district, our headquarters in Guru, where you slept. There were about 20 districts there. Now there are over 150, they're split. So in terms of educational ranking, 60s, 70s, coming to 80s, this sub-region was top. It competed with 2 districts in the central. The central is very big. It would be like 1.5 times this one, or even twice this sub-region. So it was split into 2 districts, East and West Main. Here was Acoli district. In terms of levels of education, they were matching. The rest of Uganda was competed for, because there was no number 2, so the next would be number 3. And so for a long time. Then war came. What devastated this area most was 20 years of incessant war, unending war, internal armed conflict. People died, livelihoods were destroyed. I told you in 1985, just before the war started, the livestock census, Agago district, Agago County then, is now a district, had 53,000 head of cattle. You're not counting goats, you're not counting sheep, you're not counting fowls. 53,000. And the life here was agro-pastoralism. We did both crop agriculture and pastoralism in equal measure. I grew up looking after cattle. This area you can tie my face, blindfold me, I think I can still walk around. That's the life we grew. Then between 1986 and 1990, the 53,000 head of cattle were reduced to 400. I mean 400 head of cattle. So think of an economy whose backbone is livestock because of 50,000, and that backbone is destroyed to 400. We stand because of our spinal cord. Now if you remove just one piece of bone, I will not stand. How about if there are 20 and you remove 18? That's another way of putting it. So this is where the community education disappeared. It is a whole generation. We were taught in school that a generation takes 27 years. I don't know whether they've changed this. So 20 years of armed conflict, we are talking about a full generation of people from here who never benefited from education. Went halfway, went 1%, 10%, 15, 20%, and abandoned education because it was not possible. I was an elected leader here for quite a while, serving 2 terms. I told you after that I was evicted. They chased me away from elected leadership, which is okay. But because I moved, and I was the minister in charge of Northern Uganda when I was in government, I know all these corners, I know the potential of this place, I know that the centrality of the place where you are sitting now. South is Lira, east is Kotido, northwest is Kitgum. They are equal distance. So this is at equidistant location, meaning the catchment area for whatever one can put here is very big. We're not talking about this community only. Then what comes to mind is, what do you do? Because even the blue-collared people who study, go to university and get university certificates, people who stop at the diploma level, at the certificate level, they look for jobs, the jobs are not there. That's the reality. I have many people who studied law after me, they don't have employment. And yet they have finished everything, they've got enrolled. Those who want to join, when we advertise for a grade 1 magistrate position, we advertise for 80 positions. We get over 1,000 applicants for 80 positions. We are recruiting judges of the High Court. We need just 14. The applications were 400 and something applicants. Now, the beauty with a technical institution is that you're not churning out people who are going to look for employment. You're churning out people who will be employing, because they themselves are the employment already. The employment is in their fingers, in their minds, in their pen, in their rulers, all this thing they use for measuring space. And in my mind, and my colleagues, how do you salvage those who lost 20 years and did not go far with education? Many of them are skilled. They have raw skills. Like the people who made that pyramid-looking breast-type house. Those students in primary, probably some of them before, some of them had only 2 years in primary. But they have this capacity to put up that, because if you do not understand geometry, you cannot put up that to stand as it is. When I was putting up this and the church where we were, the young man I showed you, he also started basic training and went back. I think now he has a diploma. But the people he's recruiting, some of them are really good at their work. So if there was a technical institution where that person who is very good at knowing that the brick should be put there, that person who is very good at knowing that this dress is so good, but the left side is up, the right side is not able to see this. The person who using the needle and thread this is torn, you can see doing knitting, needlework. So if there was some institution where you can capture those people and lift them from here, just bring them here only. They can be very useful. I'm not even just thinking of that very big. You start with the community, and that's why we're saying this is a community institution, technical institution. You leave them. Meanwhile, those who have studied up to secondary school, I will ask the education officer to provide statistics which will send you. Drop out, people who go to secondary, people who go to higher education, up to university, and so on. So they would have that statistics, will have there in that one. Then you have these categories of people up to diploma level. You have people who they can do timber work, if you choose timber work. You have people who can make these pavers here. You can train people to make them. You bring material, you bring the machinery, not expensive, and you make something very good. I had to transport this all the way from Gulu to 160 kilometers, the one you traveled, to bring these pavers here. And yet, it is not impossible because the materials are the same. You get cement, you get stone dust, and you make this. So in my mind, we are targeting a community who have been disadvantaged by conflicts. We are targeting even beyond that community, those who have not been able to continue, or those who would want to continue, or those who would realize that even if I take the other route, I will get a first degree, a second degree, but I'll no job. So I'm not taking that line. I'm taking this line where if I perform well, I will always get clientele. These are the people we are targeting. And by God's grace, in my mind, that would be impactful. And that's why we are thinking, if God wills, that's where we'll start. We start with this, and then with time we can start the other process, which is equally very important. Because a society which is not educated, a society which does not have good foundation in education is ruined. It has no future. So education is very important. And this is why the community gave the land. It's not bought. When I came, I told them, we need to do this. I spoke to your friend Dollo. I spoke to our friends Restore, and said, look, if we can help this community, please let us help. And so why the community is just this area? That's why I was giving you that long distance. So we are grateful you are here to see this for yourself. But what touched me most is the fact that you've never been to Africa before. And what brought you to Africa is to come and see this people. That really touched me. That you hear, a friend of yours tells you there are people who are in need, who are really in dire need. People who are enthusiastic to the point where they say, this land we are utilizing for simple agriculture, we are utilizing for animal grazing, but you can't compare this by any stretch to an educational institution. They are there. And you made a decision to fly all the way from the United States of America across the Atlantic to Europe, and then you crossed the Sahara Desert, by the way, yes. From the air.
I saw that.
Yes, yes. And you are here. The first time you come to Africa, this will be what will imprint in your mind more than anything, because that is your first experience. It is a very strong message. We will not take that lightly. We only ask God to make this happen. We just ask that God makes through you this happen. We will not disappoint you. But be here with, I told you I'm not far from it. Under 2 years, I'll be here with the people. I'll be there with them to ensure that the institution works. And I don't know if there are any questions, you can ask. Yeah. And then even beyond here, we'll ask. But as I said, the district team will avail you with sufficient statistics, the need, why there is a need for this. The catchment area is big, very big, along the lines I have told you. Thank you so much. Thank you, really, really so much. And we'll ask God to bless you, and bless you big. You know, I'm probably going up here. No, don't matter. Going to level children, I don't level children. I don't care. That's all. The did any. So Acoli in Britain, you know, and Britain, Quanbe Kuno. Quanbe don't come a chock camera quan here. And don't tea America come there. O when you go back around Mokanani, your mama miraconia. So I need Birka than Kiwan. Hey, what to carry you, big car of a pay more. Then one Africa, Kayin Lalono. Where shall you go be kitten? So when get pain, you didn't be rook tie. Johnny, don't want to come here to pay me. I don't know. Eh? Penny. Kibogi pay a calon pen and Latin. Latin, I'm telling you, you are deeply Christian. You are a man of God. So I'm telling you how godly you are. And I'm telling them, if they met you on the way, they would say, hello, hello, not knowing you can be very useful. Because they are used to powerful people who are always in full suit, even in the dry summer when sweat is raining. They're locked in there. So when they met you, I was just teasing them. Yeah, that God has sent you here. So down on the end, Leng Chine Yokarokai, the poor end Leng Chine. Doke Narona, Rod La Chine Yocharo M. There were 4 words that we had. Depending on the game, Pitaka Wene. Pay white the game to be Taka Wene. What you be Chake? Don't Chakaman at all, Locomo Pere. I don't give my parent, I know, Kuchake, who coined the piano, Magivalo Tea, Magivalo Dirman, and Dirman. 2 in the man away. Look, Chaka Wene, the pay time. Jump from working off. Munumata do o kanwa di loken pen munu daro jamme doctor new kakani fupa yenkere dog dogo an mandon won limpe o ngati mo biro en ki come miru yeng ne gin ma wana ti yeni gin ma da gin ma konyo dano kidon gin mo kena ma konyo to ne gin ngene anwa wajane ta wajame bibie yara pe lo mu bibie peta ko aramo dog de lo mu bibie nyang mano pe wa inu ke rio ginu ma chere bi ya to ku du pin kanyo kanya kalang ngo ke ti do pa du ke ni do kada ran ke kunu do ti mo ginu kana che gen ngene nana lo ko ne do mu bibie pe po dir be pe ye do ko nga cha nga pe ye gilene ditinu ko yin chwa nga ko yin le ku ene ko yin mo de tilu be chere gene ni ko nyo numero marchingo ka se de jo mo kere pour work lo mogo mo bero chalo mi la chor numero ki chara nyim ki jere do ni ka ki ki ndano jo ma putte me kitenu ni ginte ana na marai jo ngate po biro ka pemero mo wa kere ma roman kere ma romi to chini ene Pero era mermengene ada murungo be pagine ada murumio kin mero bikelu liberi kilu cha bokena do po bidu kan wa yiju go en no po no pero do kan e do gura you take again ti nga mo ma pio dano ne kwa ni mi chero ke kwa kere job gom ki kweo pe pong java ne no ngom puru don kan chero me ki kweo ke no ngom puru don kan si wa lo ada Pomo kilo lo manyero tiandane lo medong lo gin ma konyo dano manu bercharo lega bercharo oriat buri pe dir me ben pe si wa bedu ki ada an mere poche ubi poe ene aner de tieno de tien ma ka gedu ti char ken ma char ku ti gedu get ka chane ti jomo kena ma choro ke choro ali bachel ni na cher ken mara ken ma tanda bol kado paro ka chane aki ali bachel do cher ali badek ni na cher men ti ka rata che do ti bi man ma be ti mo kero ku kero dan wa ko ne wa gulu wa dera mo kero wa kampala eno ka puon eno di tie mi yubu ngan malo ba mi odero piane dano wen to ba mi ri chalan ke mi alo me gero sangyo na no ne an mana yam chura yera dan pan waro kon wan bondo bo e dalle ni waro be deska chieli patron kesle che primary school ku ke lona ko e abero ko ba ju ke da reman le dalle waro ko wan kero be deska chieli wan le ter pokero bichur le point wer che apoyo mada apoyo de monu nyoro wo mede kilo kento wo tiu ka achiel district urban authority me patron council kidong yomatie dokpa kama Dollo kikeri yani kalo ku gere tiyo bilo ko mela chen ko mata de we want you to say a word. You can speak for as long as you want.